The new killer is on the PTB, and so am I. I'll be going over what I think of the Plague, as well as the strategies I picked up that seem to work best with her. I encourage you to read the fine print of her power, as it is somewhat complex, but basically, vomiting on survivors triggers a countdown timer similar to Legion's Deep Wound effect. When the timer reaches 0, the survivor becomes injured and suffers the broken status effect. They will also infect nearby survivors and objects they interact with. In order to cleanse sickness, survivors must drink from a pool of devotion somewhere on the map. However, cleansing sickness corrupts the fountain they use, and the killer can interact with corrupted fountains to temporarily upgrade her power. Vile Purge turns into Corrupt Purge, which directly causes injury to survivors similar to the Huntress's hatchets. There's virtually no cooldown or resource meter on Corrupt Purge, by the way, so you can just spam it on survivors until they get downed. You can even hit multiple survivors with one stream of vomit, making hook rescues risky if she has Corrupt Purge active. The only gripe I have about the Plague's power is that the projectile speed is pretty slow. You'll need to lead your shots in order to land hits on survivors. Similar to the Clown's bottles, Vile Purge has a travel time and an arc that will take some practice to get used to. So overall, what do I think about her? I think she has one of the most fun and versatile powers in the game. Her Vile Purge forces survivors to waste time cleansing their sickness at fountains, which helps prolong the game, and she can infect generators, pallets, windows, and lockers to punish survivors who use those objects. She also has some decent map awareness, as whenever a survivor uses a pool of devotion, she hears a notification and sees the pool's aura light up, so she knows what general area of the map the survivor is in. Her Corrupt Purge feels almost as powerful as leveling Myers to tier 3. I think the Plague will definitely be viable in high rank play. Also, unhooking in front of her is almost as bad as unhooking in front of Leatherface. Now for some strategies. First and most importantly, I found that my chase times became a lot shorter when using my Vile Purge to injure survivors rather than injuring them with a melee attack. Injuring a survivor with Vile Purge doesn't give them a movement speed boost like hitting them with the basic attack does. So you build up sickness on survivors by vomiting on them repeatedly until they're injured, then finish them off with your weapon. Secondly, when breaking a generator, it can be a good idea to infect it so any survivors lurking nearby won't want to immediately repair it after you leave the area. Thirdly, if you can't land Vile Purge directly on a survivor, you can indirectly infect them by vomiting on pallets or windows that they would use during a chase. Or they might not use the object at all, in which case you can just land a hit on them. And finally, you can use your Corrupt Purge in a manner similar to the Huntress's hatchets. Punish players who drop pallets or vault windows too late. So thanks for watching. If you found my video helpful, make sure to subscribe for future content.